Welcome to the Drone Vibes Podcast, taking your passion for multi-rotors and drones to the next level. We're all about the drones, tips and tricks, new products, reviews, interviews with the pros, and much, much more. Whether you're interested in drones for business, racing, or just having fun, this show is for you. So sit tight and hang on. We're about to take off.
All right, Peter, so what is this thing on the table in front of us here?
What is this thing?
It looks like a quadcopter, a pretty large one.
That's exactly what it is.
I see a DJI emblem on the GPS puck.
It may even be a drone.
No way.
Yes.
So it's not just a quadcopter, it's actually a drone.
Look at this thing. Yeah, it may be. Well,
Could this be the Matrice?
This is the Matrice 100.
The 100, the
yeah?
original Matrice.
It's the original or the first
one.
The first Matrice, yep. So this is the DJI Matrice here.
This was sent to us by Empire
RC, Empire Hobby, actually.
This is actually going to be the first video / podcast that we're going to talk about this, right? Because we're waiting on a couple of components for it.
Yep, I'm still waiting for a couple parts that I neglected to get. So I still, while I can enjoy the frame and I was able to build the whole thing and go through the whole process, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more. We are still waiting for a few components there that we're going to do a separate reviews on, actually, as I get flying with this thing. But I did want to bring this in and kind of talk a little bit about the frame and what is it that the Matrice is for.
Right.
Really.
How big is this thing?
It's a 650 size, actually. So it's a pretty good size. It's a 650 quadcopter. It's very similar... I don't want to say wheelbase, but wheelbase as the Inspire.
I was going to say same motors?
Same motor. I believe it's the same motors. It's the DJI's 3510 motors with the 1345 propellers. So it'll be the same motors as, I believe, the Inspire Pro. Okay. Don't quote me on it. Either the V2 or the Pro with the 3510s.
Same props?
I would have to look. Yep. Okay. Same props, same latching system. So there are 1345 props. It uses the N1 flight controller,
the new one, okay,
which is the Inspire flight controller, really. So it's not the one that still has a single IMU, it's not the one that's
it's in the new Matrice that has the dual,
A3. It's the new Matrice that has the A3. It's the M600.
Okay.
But this one still has the N1, which is a pretty reliable controller. I never really had an issue with the Inspire. Maybe once when there was some solar storm and I had some strange behavior, but other than that, it's a pretty solid system. It comes with the Pro Plus GPS compass module, which is pretty accurate. I think they claim accuracy within the half a meter. It's a couple feet.
That's good.
Which is pretty good for a machine like this.
It's a straight line some days.
No,
within a
I'm
couple
not as
feet
accurate. Yeah. Exactly. But what this thing is, you may ask, like, what is the purpose of this thing? Why would you need something like this?
Well, it's very utilitarian looking. It's not. It doesn't have the pretty lines like the Phantom or the Inspire. It looks almost like a development platform, I guess. That's
exactly what it is. That's exactly the way it's marketed by DJI. And it's a developer platform, and it gives you a few pretty handy tools if you are a developer. And there are a few cases that you can make for using these outside of. I'm not a developer, and I can still see some uses for this machine that I can have in my arsenal, actually, and I'll tell you why. But we're gonna start with the frame. So the whole kit came as a pretty nice build. You get a center body that's already pre-built. The arms come separate, but they already have the motors on them, the landing gear.
Oh, so it's just an assembly. It's not a full build.
So it's not a full build, but you do have to take the plates off in order to build it.
Okay.
The reason why is, connecting the wires to the ESCs, because the flight controller modules and the ESCs are built inside, are kind of layered nicely inside.
Where are they now? They're inside the center of the frame?
Yep, they're inside of the center of the frame, and there is 4 of them, obviously. So there are 2 stacked on this side, 2 stacked on this side, with the motor wires going in them, and then they're connected to the flight controller and the power distribution port.
It's built in as well.
It's built in as well. Okay. Yeah. When you put the arms in, there are these wedges right here, actually, that either allow you to build them flush, or to have the arms level, or to have them on a 3-degree incline.
Okay.
So there's a 3-degree incline. What it's supposed to do, it's supposed to keep the copter better locked in.
So 2 or 3 degrees in one direction, 2 or the other way?
Yeah, no, it's It's inclined to the prop, so it
okay. The whole arm is inclined.
Yeah.
I was thinking the cant.
So it
where these are canted.
Keeps it locked.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
The gear itself has shocks in it.
Oh, nice. I didn't see that.
So it's a pretty cool detail.
It could almost handle a landing for me.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. And the whole frame is pretty sturdy. It has a lot of nice details. It feels solid. They did a really good job with it. There are accessory rails or accessory rails or module rails on the top.
For those of you who don't understand Peter's Czech interpretation of some of our words, it's accessory.
Accessory. Okay, we have accessory rails.
I don't like correcting your English, but every once in a while, like I have to sit there and think, what's an accessory rail? Accessory rails, yes.
Yeah, accessory rails. On which you can put these expansion modules. You can, put, I don't know, maybe 4 of them in there. It comes with one. And also your battery compartment, which you can put up to 2 battery compartments on each aircraft.
So is this a battery like
Yep.
you would find on the Inspire?
Yeah, that's
it's
exactly
modular?
that's exactly what it is. It's a TB47 or your TB48 battery, which is
So for those of you listening to this
it's
podcast,
never gonna pop out
and not
when you're
watching the video, Peter's demonstrated how easy it is for this battery to come out. And he's kind of winded because
it's a permanent battery.
It's a permanent battery. It stays in all the time.
Yeah.
Wow. So
there you
squeeze.
go.
Okay.
There you go. So
gotcha.
this one is your TB47. So it's the same battery that you would use in the Inspire minus the top. The top is a little bit different.
It's worth watching the video just for that.
Just for that. Just
Yeah.
for the laugh.
That's
So
funny.
if you guys make sure that you check
check
us
it
out
out,
on YouTube.
yeah.
Check it out. All right, so that's your typical TB47 battery. You can get a TB47 or TB48 for this. They're both 6S, 4,500 milliamp hours in the TB47, and I believe it's 57 in the TB48.
So that's a 47.
This is the 47.
So have you tested flight time yet with this without cargo?
Not really. They're claiming a hover time of up to 28 minutes, I believe, without payload on it. Up to 40 minutes without payload with 2 TB48 batteries.
Wow.
But I've flown it. I haven't really timed there, sat there with a stopwatch. I want to get the payload on it, the camera, and the guidance system, and then see what kind of flight time I can get from it. With
this could be a really cool platform, like Micah was talking in the last episode for doing the mapping and stuff.
Exactly.
I could see that for this.
Exactly.
Because it's a bigger frame than the Phantom, so it should handle wind and things. It's a heavier frame. It should be a lot more responsive and stable in the.
Yeah. Also, what it will do for you over Phantom, it will carry the X5 camera.
Right.
So you can do the X3, you can do the X5. You can actually plug any camera or put pretty much any camera to it. There is a module that converts, I believe it's HDMI module that hooks up to the N1 controller, and then the N1 controller communicates with your DJI Go app. So it's the same app that you would use for your Phantom or for your Inspire. That part is very well integrated.
So the OSD is built into that now?
Everything's already in.
Things have changed so much. Just a year ago that we were putting in an OSD in line with
when you were trying to figure out how to power it without having it's changed a lot. Absolutely. Now obviously your battery compartment or expansion bay, you have an options of where to mount it along the accessory rails.
Right.
The only thing you need there is a bunch of wires in the back or coming into the battery compartment, into this little panel. So if you decide to swap it and say have a battery compartment at the bottom, you need to move the whole thing and just disconnect the wires on the inside from the flight controllers and feed them through the hole in the bottom plate, of the controller to it. Now, the cool thing, if you are a developer, the DJI has an SDK package, which is a developer package that you can actually program your own, apps for it, and you can turn this into an aerial robot to do whatever you need. I know one of the things they were doing was working with Ford and trying to integrate the drone within the Ford vehicle
with
or
this
Ford
platform.
truck. With the SDK package, and I'm pretty sure they were using the Matrice platform. And the idea was to say, okay, well, how about say I'm driving an humanitarian aid or some kind of mission. I'm down in some place that may not be the safest. Can I have a drone that will fly off my truck and keep ahead? Right. So I can see, what's going on around. Right. Also mapping any kind of disaster management, it'd be cool to have it integrated within. And you said it. I mean, exactly what we were talking about with Micah was the mapping and the ability to have the X5 camera on this phone and maybe use that for the mapping. Would be cool. I can't wait to be able to put the X5 on it and actually explore what it can do.
I wonder though, with the length of the arms, if the X5 is going to catch the legs because there's no retract.
Well, the X5 it'll actually
or
come
will
over
it mount
here.
Out more.
Yeah, so it may catch the legs under some angles and with some lens.
Okay.
I'll have to play with it a little bit more to discover what it can do.
But it will connect way out here, though, not in the center.
Yep.
Okay.
Now, what I envision that this could do well, we also have the guidance system for it. And what the guidance system is it's a set of 5 modules plus a controller for them. And each module has 2 cameras and 2 sonar sensors. Very similar to what you would find on the Phantom 4 or the Inspire, where you only really have them facing down. On the Phantom 4, you have 2 forward-facing cameras for the obstacle sensing, obstacle avoidance, and that's exactly what the guidance does for you. So it's a 360-degree obstacle sensing.
Oh wow!
So it makes. It's not cheap. It's $1,000. It's a $1,000 part, $1,000 module. But what it does give this drone or this copter the ability to be aware of its environment, of its surroundings.
All the way around.
All the way around.
This could be a great platform for like inspections, aerial inspections, tower inspections and stuff. Because you won't have to worry about bumping into it.
Yeah, exactly. And you can have any camera on it pretty much as long as there is an HDMI out, to it. So that's exactly what I would like to try is the inspections, because I haven't really played with the guidance. That's one of the parts that I'm missing are the brackets that put the guidance or
it's crazy. You got all this gear and we're missing like $100 bracket or something.
Well, that's one thing that was a little bit of a goof, and I'm not sure whether they came out together or what happened there. But the guidance manual tells you that the Matrice 100 has all the parts you need to mount the guidance on the Matrice N100. But the Matrice 100 manual tells you that the mounting brackets for the guidance are an optional accessory, or an optional part, and they're not expensive. I just didn't know to grab them. So
well, I don't think anybody had them in stock either. We're still waiting on the X5 bracket, right?
Yeah, and the X5 module or the X5 mounting plate or the X5 adapter for this. So once I have those two together, I'll be able to test it a little bit more. My hope is to have a high resolution tool for, say, building inspection. So if somebody needs to scan the entire building, or go up the tower, the guidance should keep this much safer. I mean, we do this kind of work with, like, say, the Inspire now. We've done it with the S900, but it's uncomfortable if you have to keep, 10 feet away from the wall or 5 feet away from the wall, 20 floors up.
It starts to get hard at that angle.
With something that expensive, it's a little nerve-wracking. So this hopefully can keep something like that safe. But I'll be happy to report back once I have all the pieces,
hopefully
there.
We can, in the next week or so, we can get those parts in and finally get this.
Get this going, and then we'll send it through the woods and see what happens.
Yeah.
So the thing is, it's fairly pricey. I mean, the platform itself is, I believe, $3,300
for what you see right here.
For what you see right here,
including the flight controller and the battery.
Including the flight controller, including one battery, and including a charger.
But not the guidance system.
Not the guidance system. So that's another $1,000.
Wow. Okay.
And then the X3 camera, I believe, there's still $500-$600, and the X5 would be
a couple grand, right?
$1,700, to begin with. So that's something like this with enough batteries and the X5 camera and the guidance would still set you back, probably $9,000. So it's not cheap. It's definitely not an entry-level machine.
But if you're looking for a rig and hopefully we'll know on
if you're a developer and you're looking for some special use, if you're looking to do inspections and want to use some powerful camera beyond what the Phantom can offer or the Inspire can offer, this would be hot on the top of my list.
You have enough room on this machine too that you could mount an X3 or an X5 camera, a FLIR camera. So this could open up a lot of doors in the search and rescue market.
Oh, absolutely.
And the police and fire departments and stuff like that as well. Because as nice as the Phantom is, you're limited on you can't put much payload. Same thing with the Inspire. It's a really not designed
they're closed
to carry.
platform. This is open.
Right.
Pretty much. That's the difference. That's
when you were first telling me about this, I was trying to envision, because you say it's a developer platform, and when I think developer, I immediately think of software. Right? you know, and the reality is this is just as much a hardware development platform for aerial use as it is with the SDK to be able to write custom software and apps to make it work.
Oh, absolutely.
So yeah, I could see this being a very useful platform in search and rescue for sure.
Cutting edge, you know. Can't wait to have our hands on the M600, which is it's a different platform. You know, this is a smaller, you know, more of a small utility machine. The M600 is more of
heavy
cinematic, heavier lift. You know, it's not terrible. Speaking of lifting, this thing will lift about 1 kilo. I believe it's the 2 pounds, a little over 2 pounds.
That's actually, and that's not including the battery. So that's
with everything. That's the lifting capacity. So the thing weighs with the battery 2,500 grams, which is 5 pounds, and the total weight at the lift off is 3,600, I believe. So that's 2 pounds, 7 pounds on the top. Okay, so gotcha. 2 pound payload on it. Not bad for something that's small.
No, but if you wanted to put a second battery pack, you have to count that out of the 2 pounds, correct?
Yes, I believe so.
But the like if you were using the X5 or even a FLIR, those cameras don't weigh a lot.
Not really. Well, the X5 does, yeah.
Is
but,
it?
Not. Yeah, I don't know what the exact weight on it is, but no, it's not. It's definitely not 2 pounds. You know, so you should still get. If you put 2 batteries in there, throw the guidance on it, throw the X5 on it, if you can stack it all up on this, which I'm pretty sure you can, I would expect to still get 20-minute flight time, 25-minute flight time with 2 batteries. So nice. should be pretty cool. You have lights in the arms, front and back, just like in the Inspire.
Yeah, I see that. On the ends.
And as I said, overall, pretty nice build. Can't wait to
Are they colored
try it some
too?
more.
White and red, or?
Yes, they're green and red.
Green and red.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like the Inspire lights. It comes with DJI C1 controller, which is your same controller as your Inspire.
Yep.
Or your Phantom 4. So you have that platform. You have the whole platform with the light bridge built in and all
the light bridge is in it too.
Well, yeah. The N1 has you know, you can plug in the camera to it, so it works with the app. Yeah.
Wow. So
cool.
It's a lot of copter, but I was trying to envision, like, what could you use this for? But now that you've got it here, I'm like, okay, now I could see.
Yeah, you know what? Like
probably overkill if you're looking for just a camera machine, though. Like to carry an X5 or an X3, you're better off probably with
the only
Inspire.
Yeah, absolutely. I would get the Phantom or Inspire for that kind of work. What this gives you is it's the guidance.
Right.
I mean, so this is like, you know, the Inspire with obstacle sensing, 360-degree obstacle sensing. So if you need that in the environments where you do that kind of work, absolutely. If you need to carry some other sensors beyond what any of those closed platforms can offer, this is the way to do it. I do really, and you know, I've built a lot of different machines throughout the years that we did the reviews on. And this is a really solid build. It's a very, very nicely done frame, nicely done body. It's not compared to most of the things out there that I've built.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, is this capable with, if you put an X5 on it, can you run this as a 2-operator setup? Does it have the software hardware to do that?
That is the good question, and I don't know. Okay. I'll have to get back to you once I have the camera on it. I'll have to explore that a bit. I don't see much of a reason to do a 2-operator just because you do have the landing gear. You know, in
camera inspection, or if you're doing regular inspections and stuff like that, you're going to want a pilot. And
with the guidance, I don't really think, you know.
That's
I mean,
true.
the idea would be if you're a developer and if the guidance performs the way it should perform.
You could almost make it automated.
You could almost make it automated, and then
that would be cool.
That would be great.
So now you just need to learn the whole SDK before we do the next episode with this.
Or wait for some smart people actually to make it happen for us, and then try to make money that way. You know, because it's bigger than a breadbasket. Developing things like that, but I'm pretty sure that this provides a really nice platform for the developers to work within the DJI universe and like within their app, within the existing SDK, and that in turn opens up a huge market for them, pretty much standardized.
Well, that's one area that you kind of lose out on with the DJI product is they're mostly turnkey and you're limited to what they come with, like the Phantom.
The Phantom and the Inspire. The rest of it is really, you kind of build them or you build them to what you want them to be. But you're right, they cater to, you have the consumer, market, which is the Phantom. Then you have the prosumer, which is the Inspire series. developer series, and then you have the heavy lifters and the larger gimbals there.
Yeah, this is a nice machine.
Yeah,
Well, I can't wait
beautiful.
to see how it flies. Is it? You've got a transmitter on it now?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
cool.
C1. So it's
Oh, nice.
everything is set up. It flies. We can take it. I wouldn't fly it in here probably.
Not inside, no.
Yeah, it could get things
We
flying.
have high ceilings, but not that high.
Yeah, no, but we can take it outside and take it for a whip. See what you think.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yep.
We should do that.
Awesome.
All
Excellent.
right.
So
Thank
that's
you
it.
very much.
More
for
to
bringing
follow.
this in. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode.
Whether you're listening to a podcast or watching our videos, please don't forget to subscribe.
And please go over to iTunes or your favorite podcast network and give us a review. We appreciate a 5-star review if you love what we do.
You can always find us on Facebook,
On Instagram
Twitter.
and YouTube.
Thank you. Until the next time.
All right, everybody. Have a great week.